Hello, 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 and happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope everyone had such a great day today. Today is week 3 of my series for National Life Insurance Awareness Month. So I am super excited to be here, giving everyone knowledge that I've learned over the year as being an insurance agent, information on how to fully use your life insurance policy for the potential that it brings. Like most people don't really maximize on the benefits of their life insurance policy. So my goal after this series is that more people can understand the potential behind life insurance. So for those who don't know, my name is Shakira. I go by the name Sam. I am a licensed life insurance agent slash broker. I'm also a financial educator. I'm the CEO of SM Planning LLC, in which I'm a financial planning practice that helps people understand the importance of financial planning. And life insurance is one of those top things that you need to have in your plan as you navigate through life and make sure that your family and your foundation is secure. So today I decided to speak about riders. You see, when I first got my first policy years ago, I didn't know the options that you can have with your insurance policy. I just thought that you get a policy and that's it. But once I became an agent, I learned that there's so many more benefits to insurance that most people do not know. And those come in the form of riders. And what I like to talk about riders, riders are just those extra benefits that you can get in your policy. But to help more people understand it, I explain it like, you go to the store and you get a burger, and you just get a burger, and that's cool, you have a burger. But if you add those extra toppings, now all of a sudden this burger is like juicy and great tasting. You add some avocado, you may do some chipotle mayo, you may add some turkey bacon, some Swiss cheese, or whatever you want to call. But that's essentially what a writer does. A writer takes something like a policy and it beefs it up and makes it like this magnificent thing. So tonight we're gonna just go through a couple of the top writers that I normally introduce to clients when I'm doing consultations with them, because I feel that these are some great writers and great additions to your policy. Now, there are countless number of writers out there. Every insurance carrier has their own type of writer, just because it's like the extra sweet spot with getting a policy. Because face it, there are over 100, I think it's like over 100 carriers that do life insurance. What are you going to do to separate you from going from this carrier to that carrier? The writers help add an extra spice to their policy to make people say, oh wow, like I didn't mind, this other insurance company doesn't give that. Let me go with this one because they offer this particular benefit. So the number one writer that I love to tell people about, and this is mainly when I'm working with parents for their children's policy, is the insurability rider. And what the insurability rider does is it allows you to put into the contract, because remember, life insurance is a contract, that in a certain amount of years, you are going to add a certain amount of dollars to the death benefit without medical underwriting. Now, this is key because we all know that insurance is based on our health class and our age. And we know that the older we are, the more we get, susceptible to, illnesses. We have different medical conditions. And what that does is that puts us at a risk for the carrier, in which they're like, I don't know if I'm going to insure you, or if I insure you, you're going to pay out of pocket. What the insurability rider does is it says the day you sign this contract, the life insurance policy, no matter what happens after that, if you make the payments and add the additional benefits, we will not look at your health at all. We're just going by the day you sign that dotted line. Now, this is key for children's policies, and I'm going to tell you why. I always tell people your child needs a policy, whole life policy, start as soon as they're 14 days old, because you have the ability to grow that policy to be an economic system for them. So most people are like, that's great and all. You get a policy, Shakira, I'm getting a policy for my child is 25,000, is 50,000. How is that really going to help them when they get older? Well, this is where the insurability rider comes in, because you can structure your policy so that you can continue to add additional money in it. You can raise the death benefit so that it will essentially grow with your child. Now, don't get me wrong. If you do not add that, the policy still grows, but it won't grow as much as it will if you keep adding additional death benefit to it. So this is a great rider for you to have. Now, the thing with this rider is it's not for everyone. At a certain age, insurance companies cut it off because then they're like, people are going to be using this all the time. So you got to get in when you can fit in. If it's something that you can add for your child, take advantage of it and get it in. These riders are a couple of extra dollars a month. The premium, you don't even feel it at all, really. And what it does is it opens up the opportunity for you to give your child more coverage at the same health class that they had. So if you're a parent and you're like, all right, I can only afford the 25K, but my goal is to give my child with 100K in life insurance of whole life. Let's remember this is whole life, so it lasts their entire life. You can put this strategy into play, structure your policy so that you can add additional money in it to increase the death benefit, and they don't have to do another medical underwriting. And get this, when you get policies for children when they're young, they don't have to do medical underwriting if they're under, I believe, like age 15 or so. Don't quote me on it. Every insurance carrier is different. But this is something that we need to start looking into, especially as parents. Getting our children covered as early as possible allows us to give them something that access to money, to capital that we didn't really have. Now, the second rider that is pretty popular is the is the accidental death benefit. Now, this is great for anyone that has children. Well, it's great for anyone in particular, but when you have a family, adding this extra rider on can help give your family more of a death benefit in case anything was to happen to the breadwinner. So how does this work? So if you were to pass away due to an accident, that's a car accident, plane accident, any type of accident, your family will get double the death benefit. So they get the original death benefit, and then they'll get an extra set of whatever that death benefit was. And that's really big because as a parent, when you're thinking about setting up your children, your family, in case you're no longer around, you want to make sure they're cushioned properly. And this accidental death benefit allows you to have that extra cushion into it. So it's like that extra top and those extra pickles in your burger. This is where it's at. The third one is a waiver premium. Now, when I first became an agent, waiver premium, they didn't even tell me. They was like just added to their policy. Don't even explain it to them. I always went to explain it to people, but this waiver premium is pretty cool because what it does is, if you're the person that pays the policy and anything was to happen to you, it protects your policy so that it will not lapse. We all know that if we stop paying our insurance premiums, we don't have a policy anymore. It lapses. What the waiver premium does, if you are unable to pay due to either being sick or disabled and you can no longer work, this waiver premium steps in and pays off the rest of pays off the premium until you're able to pay, to get back to paying. And this is key because we all saw when COVID hit, we all saw that people were losing their jobs and they were like, okay, how am I going to pay things off? The waiver premium actually protects you so that if you become ill, of course, you have to go through a procedure with the insurance company. They're not just going to take anyone saying, hey, I'm ill. You have to go through some paperwork. If you were to become ill, your premium will still be paid and your policy will still be enforced. So this is key for you to understand. The fourth one that I really, really like is an accelerated death benefit. Now, what this does is this allows you, if you were to become terminally ill, it allows you to use your death benefit now. I mean, you're ill, you can't work anymore. The doctor says you have a couple of months to live. Why do you have to wait for your death benefit? It allows you to tap into your death benefit at that moment. And again, of course, you have to have medical letters, medical documentation from your doctor saying that this is the case you can't live. You're not going to live anymore, and then they will start to release the money to you. Now, in the event that you pass away, of course, whatever you took out, they'll deduct it and give your family the rest of the death benefit. But the possibility of having access to that money at that moment when you need it is key. It's really key and it's crucial. If you do not have that rider, you cannot access your death benefit until you pass away, and then it becomes your family's. So just keep that in mind. The next one, which I really, really, really love, and I'm going to tell you why after I explain it to you, it's a long-term care rider. Now, if anyone knows, there is something called long-term care insurance, in which you pay into a policy and you use that money to take care of yourself if you become sick. Now, this type of sick is They base it on something called assistant, I'm sorry, activities, your daily living activities. So if you're unable to perform 2 out of 3 daily living activities, then you can use long-term care insurance. But if you didn't know, long-term care insurance is at its utmost highest it's ever been. Basically, it's not affordable for every single person. You have to have a lot of money to be able to afford the long-term care insurance. But the rider acts like the long-term care insurance, but at a more affordable rate. Now the key with this is um, it has to be a whole life policy, and it starts at 100K or more for you to be able to add that rider to it. But if you look at insurance as a way to not only provide a death benefit to your family, but a way to supplement your income in retirement, as a way to supplement your care, your medical costs in retirement, you can look at the long-term care rider as not so much an investment, but as a supplement to helping you when you get older. Now, who is this ideal for? It's ideal for every single person, but especially if you're single and you have no children, you want to start thinking ahead as to, if I become ill, who would take care of me? If I'm unable to get up and dress myself, who would come and assist me? So this is where the long-term care rider comes in. And again, it's for those people that have permanent life insurance policies, and the minimum they start with is 100K. So get with an agent. I prefer me, but if not, no shame. Get with an agent and understand what you want, because this could be a great way for you to make sure that you're secure in your future. Because guess what? We all get old. Okay, there's no one's not getting old. Everyone's going to get old and is going to need help. And if you do not have kids, this is now the time for you to start thinking about, okay, if I don't have kids to take care of me, what will happen? Nursing homes are astronomically expensive. Getting a nurse aide to come in and take care of you is expensive. And yes, there is something called Medicaid, but you have to have a certain income to qualify for that. So the long-term care rider is a more affordable way for you to set up, at least have an idea of what you're going to do in the future. The next one that I came across, I forget which carrier carries this, because I'm contracted for one of them, but they have something called a family income rider, in which if you were to pass away, your policy will be paid out to your family as an income, and sort of like an annuity, where each year you'll get a certain amount of money. And this is key, because what happens when people get large lump sums of money and they don't know how to properly allocate it or divide it up? They blow through it. No one wants to have a life insurance policy passed down to their children or their loved ones, and it's gone within 2 years when it was supposed to be set up for 10 years, 20 years. So this long family income rider acts as a barrier, where it dishes out the money to your family. So each year they'll have an income set up for them. And it's very, very important. They always say the first generation builds the wealth, the second generation spends it, and by the third generation, there's nothing left. We're trying to cut all those generational curses out of the window, and trying to be smarter about the way we pass down money to our family. And then the last writer that's very popular, although I am not a big fan of it, is adding your child as a rider on your insurance policy. And the reason why I'm not a big fan of it is because some of those riders, they expire at age 25, depending on which carrier you choose. And the whole point of getting your children life insurance is, number one, because anything can happen to you, and you will want to be prepared. But the most important reason why I believe in children life insurance policy is because it sets up that economic system for your child. It locks your child into a life insurance policy, so that if anything was to happen to them, they will not have to worry about, how can I get insured? And it gives them access to funding that they can use for anything. Because most people think life insurance, when they say the cash value, they think they open up a policy and in 2 weeks they're going to have all this cash. No, it takes time to grow. Life insurance is not an investment. um, it's a vehicle, and is you're not going to get that return in 2 years from the life insurance policy. You can do different strategies to it, but it's not going to give you, some people, the return that they feel like it's going to have an instant return. It's a slow, gradual process. And starting your children off early with that process sets them up in 10, 15, 20 years. they come out and they have a fresh start. They have something to give out. Now, don't get me wrong. If the child rider is all you can afford, I'd rather your child have coverage than not. But look to get in something a little bit more permanent for your child, because that's not 100% permanent, and it doesn't grow like if they have their own policy. So this your girl Sam here. I'm not going to keep you long. These are just short, quick seminars on life insurance, because I know after a while life insurance talks goes like this. Your attention span starts to wander off. But I do want to give you guys information into what life insurance really is and the possibilities that you can have from your policy. Like, you can have your policy set up so that you can add more death benefit to it if you don't have the money right now to pay for this policy. You can get it so that if you become ill, you can tap into it. So the possibilities behind life insurance are endless. There's so many ways out there that you can use life insurance to secure your financial foundation. So if you do not yet have life insurance, you can hit your girl up. I'm here for you. If you do have life insurance and you do have questions about your policy and you can't get in contact with your agent, feel free to send me a message. I'll be more than happy to answer it. And remember, our generation is able for, we're able to help close this wealth gap. Life insurance is one of those vehicles, one of the bridges that we can use to help close the wealth gap. So make sure that you're insured, make sure that your family is insured, and most importantly, make sure that you understand what your life insurance policy can do for you, because I feel most people don't really get the full gist of what your life insurance policy can do for you. So once you understand that, you're on your way. Everyone have a good week, and I'll see you next week.